Hello everyone, how's it going? So we've reached the end of Destiny as an IP. The franchise is essentially dead right now because they have no future installment coming for the Destiny IP, which really sucks because the Monument of Triumph just kind of came out of nowhere. They just kind of put out this announcement and a lot of people were shocked, especially considering that Destiny is a massive IP. Sony paid over $3 billion in assets and all that stuff in order to get the studio for Destiny, but they're shutting it down. This is the final update, and well, it was very well received. You can see here, like, it reached a new all-time peak. People are sticking around, they're really liking it. Granted, they organized what would be called a server slam, similar to the Marathon server slam with their beta testing, and it's also the reception of this DLC because it's actually very well done. I've been playing it, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I don't know exactly what's new and what's not, but it's genuinely speaking, like, I've been having a lot of fun just going in there, playing raids. Granted, I needed to get used to all the new menu system, but it's still a very, it was a very fun time, and I'm still playing through it. And, well, there's also even worse news because, like, Sony reported this, like, I did a video on this, how they lost over $700 million in impairment loss, which means the value of the company. They overpaid for this company. They have no plans for Destiny 3. The final shape was supposed to be the finale of the game. There were reports that even the developers didn't know this was happening. There are layoffs that are on the horizon because of all of this. But yeah, it hasn't been going well when it comes to the overall health of the company. They did release a collection, which I really feel like this is false advertising, because even though they give you a great detail of everything that's in this DLC expansion, I guess you would call it, like, it's literally just all the DLC for Destiny 2, but technically it also isn't, because you don't get the Red War expansion, you don't get a lot of vaulted content. So it's just like, I'm very confused by this. Like, they should have just released everything and given you like a type of dossier, like you can play older campaigns and stuff like that, like the Red War, which was literally the base campaign for this entire game. But yeah, but Destiny has also had its ups and downs. When the game first came out, I was around when it came out. I'm that old. I remember even when they teased it in Halo 3 ODST before they removed it in the remaster. The games have had like ups and downs. When it first came out, a lot of people didn't like it. They thought it was like a huge misdirection of what they were promised, but then they revived it with the Taken King expansion. A lot of people did like Destiny 2 when it first came out, but again, it had ups and downs. The biggest controversy being the microtransactions, the terrible Eververse, the way they implemented the microtransaction systems for expansions. It was just, they were nickel and diamond players for everything. It was very confusing to even play the game. It was free to start, but not free to play. You still had to buy a lot of content. So much of the game is still locked behind microtransactions. Everywhere they're trying to nickel and dime you for stuff. Even though a lot of people like the Monument of Triumph expansion, they don't like the fact that literally everything is nickel and dime, which this was supposed to solve, but it didn't, because at the same time, it's not giving you everything. People still don't have access to stuff they paid for. But regardless, this is a big message when it comes to Sony, where people are saying, hey, we want Destiny 2 and we don't want Marathon. And look, I'm a Marathon player. I platinumed the game, but I have to give these as factual evidence. The Marathon community is very toxic. If you say even one negative thing about it as someone who does play Marathon, suddenly you're labeled as a grifter, you're labeled as a liar. You're not even supposed to be impartial. You're either supposed to be one or the other, which to me is very disgusting. It's kind of the opposite of what happened to games like Fallout 76, where that game was a disaster when it launched, but the people who played the game, they didn't try and force it down everyone's throats like they did with No Man's Sky when that game first came around. If you're as old as me, you remember like all these very toxic people who go after like extreme doctrines. Like, it's literally to the point of being a cult, like what happened with The Last of Us Part 2. I didn't like the game, but there were people who were going after Laura Bailey. Heck, No Man's Sky, people went after Sean Murray. Even the hardcore fans, they would send death threats and stuff like this. This ropes in back to Marathon because it's the same situation just repeating itself. But this doesn't lie. Like, when you look at numbers, like, it's literally the number one selling game. It's beating Counter-Strike 2, which is freaking insane when you look at things, and the player count has not been dipping. And even though this is going to give me a ton of dislikes, it's going to get a ton of comments, this is not good. Like, the game just went through its free period. I believe it's going through June 11th. This is during the update for Season 2. This also had server issues, but whereas Destiny 2, I've been playing it, has service issues because, like, this is 100,000 players, and this is just for one platform. Imagine on PlayStation and Xbox roped into this, and yeah, this could be easily, like, I think around 300, 400,000 players. That is legitimate. Like, yeah, that's a surge of players. You can expect server issues, but for this, and apparently it wasn't a DDoS attack. Like, a lot of reports are contradicting that, but the way that Bungie stated it on their Marathon official post, this is the fact they had a free weekend. Down here you can see they're extending it because of the issues with the server problems, but they never said it was a DDoS attack. They just said it was because of their own maintenance issues, which is just, again, alarming considering this company's been running a live service for 10 plus years and they still can't get their servers right. I don't know what the hell's going on, but you can see here that Marathon just, like, players are not sticking around. They played it for free. You can see here from the 40k from the start of Season 2, and they're not sticking around. Even though I think I like the season, it at the same time has a lot of major problems that Destiny 2 does not have. It has something for everyone. If you enjoy P vs. E content, there are raids, there are dungeons, there are overworld activities. If you enjoy P vs. P content, there's Gambit, there's the Crucible. There's something for everyone to enjoy. And yes, you could say the Crucible is unbalanced, but there's at least something for everyone to engage with. And I really had that level of entertainment when I was playing Destiny 2. Like, I was like, oh, this is a lot of fun. I've been playing these, like, short form raid spec op missions. They're called I believe they're called arena ops, and 6 players go in. It's like a very baseline raid. It's nothing too spectacular, but I've been having a lot of fun just going in with 6 players and just killing crap. Like, I played that for like 2 hours. I was like, this is actually a lot of fun. Why doesn't Marathon have something like this where a bunch of shells can come in and just fight a bunch of, like, UESC soldiers, fight like a compiler style enemy, and also comes with enemy diversity. These are all things I've already stated about Marathon, like enemy diversity, the fact that it only has one mode despite the fact they could easily make other modes for this game. There's just a lot of stuff when it comes to this, and Sony is doubling and tripling down on this because they invested hundreds of millions of dollars into this, and they can't shut it down in the same way of Concord or literally put in, like, more effort into Destiny 2 rather than this brand new IP they invested into. Well, it's not a brand new IP, but it might as well be. It's like, it's so far from the original Marathon IP, it might as well be a reboot, because if you played the original Marathon games, I have, this is so starkly different from what you experience. Again, I like this game, but at the same time, there are a lot of factors to this that is very confusing, and you can go down here and see that Marathon is at number 35, which is, it's being beaten out by Resident Evil Requiem, which is a friggin' goated game. It's my current game of the year right now, but this game is a single player game. Like, you play it once and done, and then that's kind of it, but it's beating out a game that you're supposed to be playing constantly. Like, that should speak volumes about what's going on right now. Like, Resident Evil Requiem, like, Elden Ring is still beating it. Monster Hunter Wilds, like, you just look like Halo, like, the pre-purchase for Halo campaign Evolved is just beating it. It's just like, a lot of stuff here that you have to consider right now. And when it comes to the future of all of this, I really think that Sony bet their money on the wrong horse. What I think they should have done is put less people on Marathon, even if the content gets slowly doiled out, and put more focus on Destiny 2. And look, you can make the argument of, like, Destiny is a longer legacy IP. There are more players who've invested time and money into this. Not to mention, it's a new content updates. You can see here from the Steam charts that literally every time there was a massive content update, they've seen, like, similar player counts. But it also comes from the quality. Like, the content update for the Monument of Triumph is vastly superior to whatever Season 2 had delivered for Marathon. Like, they delivered one shell, a variation of Dire Marsh, and a P vs. E map that simply is not set for P vs. E because there are not enough enemy variety to provide that type of experience that Destiny 2 does. Like, Destiny 2 has so many different types of enemies that they can go full P versus E and people will have a great experience, but Marathon does not, despite the fact that the franchise does have a lot of different enemies in the game. Like, if you look, just Google search Marathon enemy types and you'll see, like, a long list of different enemy types they could have drawn inspiration from. It also doesn't help with the P versus E mode. You can't bring in your own loadout, which I get what they tried to do to try and combat people from rushing in the boss enemy, which is not even a boss fight. It's literally just a reskinned UESC soldier with toxic elements. Literally just spews a debuff on you. It's literally the same as the toxic warden in the third map, in the pinwheel base. So it's just a lot of stuff that I don't know what the hell is going on with Bungie right now. Management issues, leadership issues, the way that they're doling out content, and you can see here from the player basis that it's just not looking good for either, because you have to look at it like this player count, even though it's super high, is going to dip because people are going to realize, hey, this game is dead, why are we even playing this anymore? And the fact that the collection doesn't even give you everything like in the original Destiny 2 the original Destiny 1 collection, where you literally got everything for one price, where you can play that game and just have a good experience. Where it's here, they don't give you that. Like, yeah, this game is still going to remain online, but at the same time, you can look through, like, if you've been playing Destiny 2 right now, you've seen, like, the microtransactions in this game are absolutely insanely bad. But people enjoy this game more than they enjoy Marathon. And look, I want Marathon to succeed, but they're making all the wrong choices with this game. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on there. Like, I've voiced my concern. They need to add more enemy variety. They need to put the P versus E content on all the maps, not just on one map. They need to make sure that players can go into these maps with their full loadout. And just, like, that's the thing. Like, I feel like anytime Marathon has an opportunity to just be plain fun, they do the opposite for that. Like with Destiny 2, it seems like they were more focused on like what will be fun for players. Like they want to go into a short raid experience with 6 players and just demolish everything. Let them have fun. But with Marathon, they're like, oh, you can't do that. We need to test this out. I'm like, how hard would it be just to put in the option to go into a map with just players and just NPCs and have their loadout and just like have fun, just enjoy the game. You could say it dismisses the extraction shooter ethos, but dude, at this point, you gotta do something. You have to encourage players to come back. But those are my thoughts on it. I really think that they bet on the wrong course here, even though like they don't want another Concord situation, even though it seems like they're gonna get that with the upcoming live service fair game, which is having its own can of worm issues. But if they don't do something here, it's just going to be catastrophic. We already know layoffs are coming. We already know that this is not going to end well when it comes to Marathon. Even during the free period, you can see players are not sticking around. It's not going to end well. And this is coming from a Marathon fan. Like, guys, the facts are here. You have to put yourself into reality at this point. You can't keep saying, like, people like me are grifters or stuff like that when we're looking at data, especially when you're a Marathon fan and you're trying to be as objective as possible with this. I don't like hating on Marathon. I like the shooting, I like the lore, I like the gameplay. Heck, the shells and art style have started to grow on me, similar to how the Star Fox 64 remake, like a lot of people didn't like the art style, but when I played the game, I was like, okay, I see what they were going for here, and it actually works for that game. I felt the same way with Marathon. I was like, okay, this kind of makes sense. It's the idea that these shells are supposed to be like mock interpretations of humanity. Like, we've evolved to such a point that we don't even recognize ourselves. That's kind of how I saw the shells. Like, these are supposed to be like twisted versions. Like, think of it like the Backrooms if you've seen the movie. I'm going on a bit of a tangent here, but think about like the Backrooms movies if you've seen it. It's that interpretation of what you describe a human being to someone and what they think a human being would be. That's how I see the shells. Basically, they've molded themselves into such cryptic versions of humanity that you don't even recognize what the hell they are anymore. And if you read into the Marathon lore, that's kind of how things are. They don't even recognize themselves anymore when they look themselves in the mirror. They've kind of become hybrids in a lot of way. But that's it from me. Tell me what you think in the comments below, and I would love to hear from Marathon fans. What do you think this game needs to fix itself? Like legitimate stuff. Like, I really think putting like raid type of content with P versus E content combined with more P versus P options, like team deathmatch and stuff like that, just put something in there would be better. Not to mention like variations on the maps, like maybe dark and light maps for all of them, snow levels, you know, something to add variation. But that's it from me. Tell me what you think in the comments below. That's it from me. Bye.